Hello, this is Jay Mitchell, and we are back for another episode of the Libertarian Uncensored podcast, going over all the posts on Libertarian Uncensored subreddit. Let's get right into it. So first we have J.K. Rowling and Elon Musk named in cyberbullying lawsuit filed by Algerian boxer Iman Khalif after Olympic win from Variety, and I posted that and I said, free speech is not a crime, and screw anyone trying to make it one. And I personally think, if people want to be mean to other people, I don't think that's very nice. But being mean isn't a crime. And increasingly, in places like Britain, they're making social media posts that may be considered mean or threatening a crime, and I don't think that's very libertarian. Libertarians support free speech for all, even if it's mean or threatening speech or misinformation. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have former insider says Trump's new strategy will end in disaster from NewRepublic.com by Donald Key, and I said, you guys are really setting yourselves up for another 2016 again. I personally don't like Trump, but I feel like they're trying to. It feels like in 2016 again with the media trying to coordinate girl boss Kamala as the president, just like they tried to coordinate girl boss Hillary as the president in 2016. And, I personally think Kamala is probably more likely to win at this point. But that being said, the Dems don't have COVID or BLM hype this cycle. And that's important to remember as well. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have the truth about haha Space Karen from Ragnarok KXD, and that's a meme. The truth about Space Karen. PayPal was founded by Max Levchin, not Musk. Tesla was founded by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, not Musk. SpaceX success was engineer Tom Mueller, not Musk. Elon Musk has never invented anything. He's never designed anything. He's never been an innovator for anything. And I think that's just because they're just posting that because Elon Musk is one of the current boogeyman. Reddit will always go after whoever the current boogeyman is. Be it Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis or Vivek Ramaswamy or whoever the TV says is the current boogeyman, and that's my thoughts there. I definitely do think Elon is successful for a reason, but people don't want to think he's not successful because he goes against whatever the progressive circle jerk is, and that's my thoughts on that issue. And we have Centerpoint uses private use scenario retreat to lobby Texas leaders from EasternChronicle.com by throwaway 146225. And I would agree that's not good. I don't think. I guess if they had the permission of the property owners, I guess they should be able to use it. I guess, but if they didn't have permission, I don't think that they should be doing it, especially not being if they are taxpayer funded. And that's my thoughts on that issue. And we have charges against 46 pro-Palestinian protesters at SeaTac Airport dismissed from SouthSeattleEmerald.com by Frosty Slawman. And I said in response, I'm sure the ones at the DNC next week won't be. Then we have Disney says Disney Plus terms prevent allergy death lawsuit. Customer at fault for missing fine print from CH4Locks. And that's crosswords from the Damn That's Interesting subreddit. And it's a screenshot of a BBC News headline. Disney says man cannot sue over death of wife as he signed up for Disney Plus. And I think that's kind of BS. I think that's why people are so against big corporations here in the US, because they do all kind of corporate authoritarian bullshit like this, and I don't think that's very libertarian. I think corporations, as long as they're not hurting anyone, should be able to do what they want to. With that being said, they just can't pull stuff like this out of their ass and expect everyone to go with it, and that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have Kamala Harris to propose ban on price gouging for food groceries by Lemon Limelight. They said from the Washington Post, Kamala Harris to propose ban on price gouging for food groceries. Vice President Kamala Harris on Friday will unveil a proposed ban on price gouging in the grocery and food industries, embracing a strikingly populist proposal in her most significant economic policy announcement since becoming the Democratic Party's nominee. The Harris campaign said that if elected, she would push for the first ever federal ban on food price hikes with sweeping new powers for federal authorities. Harris's plans amount to a sharp escalation in the economic populism while offering some overtures to the business elite. Harris is attempting to respond to intense voter frustration over rising prices, particularly grocery prices, with a far-reaching proposal. The statement did not define price gouging. Republican and many Democratic economists see mandatory price controls as a counterproductive form of government intervention that discourages foreigners from producing enough supply to meet demand. And then they added, when you look at inflation data, you see this as rank politicking. In July 2024, grocery prices cooled to a very modest year-over-year change of just 1.1%, down considerably from their August 2022 peak of 13.5%, and haven't found a federal ban on price gouging. And I linked to a tweet from Tim Pool. I said literally communism, and Tim Pool, he tweeted on that story, it's communism, like literally government price controls on consumer goods. And yeah, it just goes to show you, they might present her as moderate, but she's a radical communist. I think the Republicans are pretty much communists at this point as well. But it's important to note that she's not a moderate, despite how they're trying to market her, and that's my thought on that issue. Then we have American support for tariffs plummets when they see prices rise from Reason.com by Flimsy Al 5063. And yeah, I do think tariffs, they're well intentioned and supposed to support local business. With that being said, I don't think they're very libertarian because they think they go against the free market and make people pay more for what they want. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have Democrats try to block Green Party from presidential ballot in Wisconsin, citing legal issues from APnews.com, and I posted that, and I said, to them, democracy is only when you vote and support Democrats. It's in the name after all. And that's my thoughts on that issue. That's why they always get all sanctimonious about our democracy, when in reality trying to stifle third parties because that they think they'll steal votes from them. Then we have Gamergate's legacy lives on and attacks against Kamala Harris from Wired, and I posted that, and I said, I feel like Gamergate is their boogeyman, since it was arguably the first time that the internet could really be shown to hold its own in regards to narrative creation against the traditional media. And that's my thoughts there. And, yeah. Then we have NYC kickoff rally for Harris confronts pro-Palestinian demonstration for Politico.com by Frosty Slowman, and I said, the DNC next week is going to be fun. And yeah, it just goes to show you how, people on the left say, oh, we're all supportive of Harris, but then these people come out and they say, oh, that's just, Russian disinformation. And, it just goes to show you how, if you dissent at all and have principles like these pro-Palestinian demonstrators, they'll just call you Russian assets or something as an excuse to shut down all dissent whatsoever, and that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have Donald Trump proposes ban on price gouging for food, groceries from Newsweek.com by Frosty Slowman, and I said in response, when Kamala Harris says it, Reddit says it's a good thing, but when Donald Trump says it, Reddit says it's a bad thing. And I linked to a tweet from the Reddit Lies Twitter account, and that was an article, I think, from one of the normie sources that said, last week Vice President Kamala Harris proposed two measures that would raise the incomes of lower wage workers, raising the federal minimum wage and eliminating federal income tax on tip wages for certain workers. While many have noted that Harris's embrace no taxes on tips appears to be similar to a policy that former President Donald Trump previously pledged, the policy impact would differ greatly. Harris's plan is targeted to benefit hospitality and service workers, while Trump's plan would open a giant loophole for the wealthy to avoid taxes. And that just goes to show you how, it doesn't really matter what the policies are. It really matters if the person who says them is in the in-group or out-group. And that's my fault on that issue. I don't really care for price gouging, regardless of or price controls, regardless of who's pushing them. But with that being said, I think people are just going to spin whatever the narrative is to their advantage, and that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have Donald Trump giving a press conference sponsored by Folgers by Donald Key, or also from the Political Humor subreddit, and I said in response, the Trump circle jerk has really completely ruined this platform. I don't like Donald Trump, but the Trump is the worst thing ever circle jerk really has gotten annoying after pretty much a decade of it. Same with the Trump is the greatest thing ever circle jerk, but you don't really see that on Reddit by comparison. Then we have siren emoji, free speech under attack in Georgia, YAL's Kennesaw State chapter was removed from campus while speaking to students today. Kennesaw State University administrator, we don't really have the space to host folks like you on campus. Hashtag free speech from Young Americans for Liberty. And I said in response, the universities really feel like a lost cause at this point. Reddit does too. And I linked a tweet from Reddit Lives about how Reddit corporate removed a post on a subreddit about critiquing large-scale immigration. And increasingly, it feels like free speech is a lost cause, but that's why we gotta support it to the bitter end. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have Shell Oil nonprofit donated to anti-climate groups behind Project 2025 from TheGuardian.com by 408-146-225. And yeah, I don't really care about Project 2025, but Shell is free to spend whatever, to put its money wherever it feels like, and that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have siren emoji, free speech is under attack in Florida as woke authoritarian nanny state disposes of wrong-think literature from HeraldTribune.com from Whimsical Hobo, and I said in response, but when the woke do it, it's fine. And this is marketed as bad. That's their headline is New College of Florida tosses hundreds of library books, empties gender diversity library. And I said when that's more doing it for a conservative reason. But when the woke remove books, it's fine. I linked a story from the Stupid subreddit that was posted last year. Canadian school library removes all books published in 2008 or earlier in new equity-based process, and that's from CBC.ca. And my thing is that all people want some speech censored, but increasingly people just want to say, oh, that's all the out-group that wants the censorship. Well, in reality, when they push for censorship, they'll always find a way to justify it. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have Don't Overthink It Now from Ragnar OKXD, and that's a tweet from Elia Ng, who tweeted, Don't overthink it now. Private insurance, give up 20% of your paycheck, pay huge deductibles. Hashtag Medicare for all, give up 5% of your paycheck, pay zero deductibles. And my thoughts on that are, I think if people want their government to pay for their health care, I think they should be able to, as long as, it's all paid voluntarily. But with that being said, I do think, if people don't want the government to pay for their health care, they should be forced to do so. And increasingly, that seems to be what the progressives want. They want the government to pay for everyone's health care, even if people don't want the government to do so. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have Trump supporters wearing dictator apparel, pro-dictatorship loyalists from CH4Locks, and that's crosswords from the Pix subreddit. And they're wearing a shirt that says "Dictator on Day One" and all that, and number one says Supreme Leader. And ultimately, I don't really care for that, but ultimately, I think people should be able to wear whatever they want, and that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have the Case for a Gold Standard by Inside Homework 6544, and that's a YouTube video from Against the State. Case for gold. And I definitely do think the gold standard is the best option we have currently. I do think if gold ever becomes goes under the aluminum treatment and becomes widespread, like the aluminum used to be rare, and that's why they put it at the top of the Washington Monument. But I think if gold ever becomes widespread, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I think right now gold is rare and valuable, and has always served to be the most rare and valuable substance. So that's why I think we should ultimately rely on gold for our centralized, not centralized, I'm very against centralization, but as the main methods of trade and value. But, ultimately, if people don't want to value gold, I don't think they should be forced to do so. But, I do think gold is historically proven to be the most sound currency. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have Massachusetts declares early victory in taxing the rich, saying $1.8 billion takes from millionaires tax. It was double expectations from Fortune.com by Ninja Lover. And yeah, that's why if I was a rich person, I probably wouldn't be living in Massachusetts right now. I'd probably be abandoning that state faster than you could say bye, I guess. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have Florida School Board pauses chaplain plans following interest from Ministers of Satan by Tallahassee.com by Swamp Yankee Dan. And yeah, I think, if they do want to have chaplains, I think they should be able to do so. But, if that being said, I do think they should be able to, I guess, it depends on, if they want to pick what religion, I think they should be able to. But with that being said, the Church of Satan and all that, they always, or the Satanic Temple or whatever one it is, they always say, oh, we need to get all this religious ideology out of our schools. When in reality, they only care because it's out-group ideology. They're completely fine with in-group ideology dominating schools, like with all the Pride or BLM flags in the classrooms. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have Mark Cuban, AI industrialization and drug conspiracy will cost plus drugs from the Daily Show on YouTube by CH Relax, and they added good interview all the way through, but jump to 17 for a free market approach to pharmaceuticals regarding costplusdrugs.com. And I definitely would agree, if I think if people want to do any drugs they want, they should be able to. With that being said, I personally wouldn't spend all my day tripping out on the street on drugs all day, but if someone wants to do that, I think they should be able to. But, ultimately, you still need to find a way to eat and sleep as well. And hopefully you can do that, but I don't know if you can do that if you're just drugged out all day. And that's my thoughts on that issue. And I think we're gonna wrap it up there. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.